We are live on YouTube. What is going on, everybody who is already here? We have some people already here on Instagram. We're just getting.
Look at what inflatable guy said, bro.
Uh,
That is taken out of context so hard. Oh my god.
Okie dokie. All right, so now we are live here on Instagram and YouTube. What is up, everybody?
You probably don't even know who I am. I've not posted in so long. Oh wow.
Okie doke. All right, so we are here, and now that we have some people here, we are going to go ahead and get started. We are here. I'm joined with Blake from Inflatables Galore. He also used to be Holiday House 19 and other and Blake's Inflatable Channel. And how many name changes are you going to go through, dude? I can't keep track.
Yeah, no, I've had about 15.
Unfortunately, we are not joined by a third guest today. There has been some, there's just some inflatable enthusiasts, unfortunately, cannot be here today, but that does not mean that this is not going to be an awesome discussion, because there are plenty of things. There's tons of things I am very excited to start talking about.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so now that we have a good amount of people here, I guess just start with the opening comments about basically. I mean, I think actually we should start with a recap of the 2022 Halloween season, and just kind of like the highlights of that. So, do you have any opening marks about that?
I would say last year, for the most part, Halloween impressed me more than it usually does. I mean, we got our first 20-foot Halloween inflatable. We got a haunted house. BJ has also had one of the first inflatables with sound in a very long time. So
absolutely, yeah,
I was impressed.
Easy. That was, and I mean, both the ones you just talked about, the haunted house and the BJ's trio, were both two of, I'd say, definitely two of a good handful of amazing ones from last year. But definitely. But what's really unfortunate about last year is that, unfortunately, there's only really a handful of ones now looking back that were outstanding, like the trio and the haunted house and the pumpkin stack, just because there's so much hype behind it, where like we didn't even care that it had an 80 or no tornado. I mean, specifically about the pumpkin stack. But
I was just happy that we finally got a 20-foot Halloween inflatable, because I feel like that's like the one thing a lot of people is like missing in their display. Like for me, like I didn't have any colossals because my 16-foot colossal like was dead, so I needed another one, and I got it, but I didn't even use it last year. So that's gonna be like my main focus this year, is to incorporate that. And if we get another 20-footer, because we might, I have no clue. But anyway.
That is one of the things I'm definitely excited to talk about today.
Oh gosh,
absolutely. So I mean that that is one thing that's just kept been going through my mind. Of course, I did the poll on YouTube and Instagram, just thinking about all this speculation about what in most people in the community's minds, what they think the next step for the 20-footers for Halloween is. And the overwhelming amount of people, out of the choices I gave, honestly, no one, and I left the option to do other, like leave your thoughts, and an overwhelming number of people have all suggested that the ghost, a 20-foot ghost, will probably be the next one. But one that has definitely been going through my head is a 20-foot haunted tree. Definitely. I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's 100%. I mean, right now, here we are standing right now. Currently, I'm going to document these words. We are standing here on May 7th, 2023, and we are yet here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to find out what Lowe's and At Home we're going to get in. And I want to mark these words down, that just in case. I mean, I want to know that 100%. I want basically haunted tree, a 20-foot haunted tree, and a 20-foot ghost. Those are the two that are on the short list 100%. And I can't wait to see, like, that's I didn't even think about the haunted tree until after I already put the poll out. But
yeah. Well, this is kind of how I've been looking at it because I was like, okay, so we need to, like, if there is going to be a 20-footer for this year, because most likely, if there is another 20-footer coming out, most likely a pumpkin stack will also be coming back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, okay, well, if we look at how At Home started the 20-footers for Christmas, we had the basic ones. We had a Santa, we had a snowman, and then we gradually went on from there. So I was like, all right, so we have a pumpkin stack. So pumpkins are out of the, like, that's just not going to be another 20-footer. So I was like, what's another basic inflatable that you're going to probably see a lot of throughout the years? And the first thing that came to my mind was probably a 12-foot ghost or some sort of 12-foot, not 12-foot, 20-foot, like some sort of 20-foot ghost, or maybe a 20-foot like Reaper of some sort. Like the thing that keeps running through my head is the Grimace Reaper. I feel like we're gonna get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like not the exact same design,
bro. Even in my 2 years, I think no, it was last year. It was 2022. I did that April Fool's thing where I had the fake at home lineup for April Fools, and people actually took, and people were actually. It was believable enough that people actually did believe that because I had the Grimace Reaper on there, and now I mean, ain't that ironic that now here we are where that might actually be a possibility. Like if they're ever
that's
going.
What I was thinking because I was like, if we get another 20-footer, which we most likely will because of how well it sold last year, because when At Home finally did get it, at least for around here where I live, it was one of the first inflatables to sell Dragon and the Pumpkin Stack, which I'll talk about the Dragon in a second because that Dragon was like one of my favorite inflatables from last year, believe it or not.
Yeah, oh my goodness, definitely. That's another thing I want to talk about here in a minute when we're done with these opening remarks and we get going into the stores. But I mean, I definitely think that Dragon was hugely underrated.
It really was, because if you really think about it, there was not many people who purchased it last year, and I really don't know why, because Lowe's quit doing dragons, Walmart, they'll do like a cheap band dragon every now and then, but we really haven't got a decent quality dragon in a very long time, and I would say At Home definitely took the cake on that, because it was the perfect size, it was animated, metallic, and they, instead of doing the kaleidoscope, I don't know if this was to save money or if they were just trying something new. I like to say that they trying something new, but the LEDs, I actually really like the LEDs in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, something. Okay, basically, just the opening. First, we're going. Okay, by the way, for those of you, this is how the rest of this discussion will go. We're just going in store by store. I guess right now there's not to stop us from going straight into At Home. But
yeah, I was gonna say At Home because we usually get At Home. We usually get the At Home lineup before we get anything.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Sometimes. So if we're gonna start, okay, so it's just starting with At Home here. The two. Okay, so I've been definitely thinking about At Home's Halloween lineup last year, and some things that I definitely want to start by opening saying are definitely something that I don't think a lot of people really understand is the business side of it. And yeah, sure, we can sit around and fantasize all day about what we'd like to see in the future or like what they can do differently, but a lot of people seem to let it slip their minds that these stores are businesses and they need to like negotiating with Jemmy on what they need to see happen mutually for it to work as far as like an investment from the stores and Jemmy basically coming up to the same level that they're on when they're on the same level. That's a lot of things that people seem to forget about is that yeah, it'd be cool to see, you know, a better fan in certain inflatables, more technology in it or for a better price or something. But I mean, realistically, I think definitely you should take notes from Walmart, and we will get to Walmart in later in the stream. But you should take notes that definitely Walmart has always been well, actually, no, actually, you should take notes from BJ's. BJ's has always been consistent with getting awesome designs in, awesome quality, and for the like, they didn't ever let inflation ever affect them because I mean, yeah, same as last year. Literally, okay, literally take the trio from last year, and I mean that I mean, retail, the first starting price was $200, and then it went down to 180 like 2 weeks later, and then went down to 160, and then it was down to, I think the lowest that it ever went down to was like 120, something around there. And but now take that incredible inflatable that is packed with technology in typical BJ's fashion, and say it was sold at home. That's instantly more than the haunted archway from last year. The remake of the BJ's.
that
We're
would be
talking
like
at home is milking inflation dry. Where, circling back to what I was originally going to say about Walmart, Walmart always has low price. I mean, yeah, they have, because of inflation, they have to go a little bit higher, but still, that Phantasm Pumpkin Reaper last year that a lot of people overlooked, that, I mean, 125 tornado fan, a kaleidoscope in the face, and for $85, only a little bit. I mean, that shows you that the stores are the people that jack up these prices. It's not at home. It's not, well, not Jemmy. That's the people who dictate
yeah,
the prices,
yeah,
because Walmart has always sold these massive technology packed inflatables for, like, originally it was $49, and now it's up to 85, which I'm perfectly fine with. I mean, yeah, it is $35 more, but it's still, where else are you going to get these technology packed inflatables for
yeah,
such a cheap price? But now we're going back to at home. We're an at home segment now. I don't want to get going on other stores. But my stance, before we hear your stance, is definitely, and this is something that's been resonating with me ever since the 2022 Halloween season wrapped up. Is, okay, we were all caught up in the excitement and stuff, but now looking back in retrospective, what what were the highlights? And basically, it's as simple as this. If you take out this is how you judge how well a store is done. If you take out a specific inflatable, just one out of a store's lineup, will the whole rest of the supporting lineup still support the store? And it's like, okay, well, unfortunately we didn't get that, but is it still a a good year for that store? And if we apply that to at home last year, if we took out the pumpkin stack, which is like the number one source for all of the hype last year behind at home, I mean,
yeah,
the dragon was kind of like a backbone for it, but not much. I mean, I know a lot of people, again, like you said, did not get the dragon, where they thought it was cool, but it's not really top of their list. They were just interested in the pumpkin stack. And
yeah,
that leads into my last point here before we hear your side, is, if they don't, we're all hoping and praying that we get new 20 footers for Halloween. Here's how I personally think it's a pretty safe bet that we're going to get a bunch of new Halloween 20 footers in the future, like in the near future, like this year. And yeah, is
yeah.
because,
Following years.
yeah, in the fall, yeah, just these next few years. Okay, I will guarantee you by 2026, which that's like the next 3 years, next 3-4 seasons, we will see all of these new 20-foot Halloween and Christmas designs. Because if you take out that, I mean, if you just bring back the pumpkin stack, okay, just for this year, there's no more excitement behind at home. I mean, I gotta tell you right now, if they don't have a new 20 footer for Halloween this year, then they will suffer. They will absolutely
Yeah,
suffer, because
that's,
that
I'm
was,
just saying, like their lineups every year. I mean, to an extent, they're okay, but I would say only last year's the first year since I would say like 2019 probably, which is literally what someone literally put in the comments. That's about like, yeah. There's nothing else that was really exciting about at home except
absolutely. Oh, that's another thing I've been thinking about. I just thinking about this morning when I was preparing for this discussion. Is, if we think back to, now looking back at home 2020 versus 2017, and I counted them all up. I did research this morning. I just to refresh my memory, 2017 at home was better than anyone ever could think. Now in comparison to today, we had 11 bass fans, and all of them had something special about them. There was two licensed bass fans, the 10-foot jack. There was the all this stuff, and so many incredible bass fan designs and a great lineup. Now that was 2017. Then you look back at 2020. Holy crap, that was so they minimized it
yeah.
down.
What we have like 3 or 4 base fans?
They
Wait,
only
hold on.
had three, and where typically, here's another thing I wanted to talk about tonight is patterns. If you ever want to make a good prediction on what you think a store will be getting, in a certain year is you have to memorize the patterns. Like,
Yeah.
um, for example, here's a quick example for at home. Uh, every year, they typically like to have a pumpkin of some sort. They typically like to have the haunted tree. Those have been brought back year after year as
Yeah.
classic characters. Also, the Four Nightmare Before Christmas ones. I would genuinely be surprised if they stopped doing those. So,
Oh, well, they actually. I'm sorry to get off topic, but there has been leaked like pictures of like the boxes if they don't change them. And so far, I've only seen two Nightmare Before Christmas base fans. So I don't know if they've decided they're gonna like stop, because I don't think the Nightmare Before Christmas inflatables last year sold as good as they thought they were going to.
absolutely. That's another thing. When we get to Lowe's, when we get to the Lowe's segment, that's definitely something we need to talk
Yeah,
about going into.
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yes, okay, right now we don't know because again, all we have right now is the box art or the rough estimate of the box art for Lowe's. But Lowe's has
Yep.
always done, special box art for the Nightmare Before Christmas. They do
Yep.
yeah. So we don't know if that's just their new Nightmare Before Christmas box or if it's a 30th anniversary box art for the Nightmare Before Christmas because this year's its 30th anniversary, which is why a lot of people were
Oh,
thinking that this would be the year that they're going huge with Nightmare Before Christmas. But I mean, again, think about what you just said. What were the Nightmare Before Christmas ones that sold really well last year? I mean, I get
literally, like the 14-foot Oogie was the only one that
yes,
sold
that I
like
mean,
good.
well, I mean, the clown with the tearaway face was pretty neat, but I mean, I know personally, I only got a couple Nightmare Before Christmas ones from Lowe's, but I didn't really care about any because they were super expensive, and I know that a lot of people, especially in those Facebook groups where they do those clearance hauls, they run around to different Lowe's and they pick up all these, and there were so many Nightmare Before Christmas ones left over that it's actually
Oh
surprised
well,
me.
that's how it was at my Lowe's. I don't think I've told everybody, but I literally got half the. I think I have the entire base fan lineup from Lowe's last year because I went after Halloween, the day after Halloween, and the entire lineup was still available. I got it 75% off. I think I literally have everything from Lowe's last year except like a couple of cheap fans. It's crazy because I think Lowe's was definitely predicting that everything was going to sell
Absolutely.
crazy, and then
That's
nothing sold.
when as soon as we saw in February, it's February, and actually my first thought when we saw those February things is like, really, it's February. Can you not let us speculate any bit? But anyway, but when we saw that, I saw that those two Nightmare Before Christmas ones, the 9 foot, what I'm guessing is 9 foot Jack with the ripped apart face, and
Yeah.
the Oogie and the Cauldron. Why are those secluded? Those are the only two base fans, Nightmare Before Christmas ones, that are by themselves. You can see that there's other box art on either side of it. That makes me think that maybe you're right. Maybe this year they're taking it easy on the Nightmare Before Christmas, and maybe going. But here's another thought. We'll get to this back when we get to Lowe's, but I have special thoughts on that. But if we go back to at home, the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, at home is definitely more interested in money than anything else. At least
They're definitely
Lowe's.
looking money over quality. You can tell
Absolutely,
that in the
absolutely,
last couple years for sure.
absolutely. Where Lowe's and Home Depot, yeah, their goal is to make money. In the end, everything is a business, but they also like their happy customers. But
Yep.
at home is 100% now, especially like all their integrity, everything they stood for with good Halloween inflatables and everything, and that's just all down the drain. Now they're all
Yep.
money, all jack it up as high as they possibly can because we being the suckers will just pay as much as we want for it.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to get to as well. I mean, at this point, is there nothing that we won't buy? Because I feel like we, as inflatable and Jimmy inflatable content creators, our job is to buy inflatables, review them, and then put out a display for the community. All we do, we're basically entertainers at this point. So Jimmy's almost these stores and Jimmy, well, not really necessarily Jimmy, but the stores are honestly for the inflatables and like just in general decor. They rely on us to buy the stuff, to review it, to get other people to buy it, and then so I guess they're like, okay, well, we can place this order to get this, and then get it, and then people are still gonna buy it because it's an inflatable.
I
Someone's gonna
mean,
buy it. Do a
well,
video of it.
another
everyone
thing.
else is gonna want it. You know, it's just kind of like a cycle at this point.
Yes, yes, but I mean, another thing to keep in mind, going directly with that point, is we found out a couple years ago that actually I mean, at home, for example, all their stuff is ordered for the next season during while the current season is already happening. And we found that out because someone posted something in 2019, I think, where there were already Halloween stuff on store shelves. And by the way, just while we're talking about this, I just want to just to remind everyone that Halloween inflatables were on at home store shelves in 3 weeks from now. If it were yeah, they were confirmed to be on store shelves on May 29th, 2019. And that was
Yep.
like that was such a surreal year where we got to like we just extended our Halloween season like 2 months because of that.
Yep.
Um, but now here we are where last year was oh yeah, by the way, just to bring this up while we're on the topic of at home, the whole shipping thing where they only got a couple in July and then they got the whole rest of the lineup like a month and a half later while all the competitors are passed them by, is only a 2022 problem. It was only one thing. It was a massive distribution error, and everything should be back on track again this year. So we should expect some stuff. Well, not some, all of it. I'm expecting all of it to be on store shelves, uh, on for the at the right time, which mean early to mid July. But
I hope so because the whole like lineup problem last year when they got some stuff, and luckily, pretty much everything that they got in at the beginning of July, I think it was. It was pretty much everything I got. Cause I got the dragon. I had the archway, but I returned that because I could not handle the head animation. It was like I liked it. I liked the concept that they were doing with the BJ's thing, but like the animation was not having it for me. Like, yeah. But I'm hoping that that doesn't happen again. I'm glad that you've like confirmed that a little bit because it worried me so much because I was like, by the time they actually get half the rest of the lineup, I'm gonna be like spend all my money on like Lowe's.
yeah,
Home Depot.
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, if they're so focused on money and business, then how about you have a
Yeah,
little
get your
quality control
lineup.
and you get it in before the competitors like you always used to, instead of letting literally all of your competitors pass you by. And we're like, okay, thank you for the pumpkin stack. Bye. We're on to Lowe's.
That's
But
exactly what happened because I bought
exactly.
the dragon, and then like I think like a month later, Home Depot did their stuff, and then around the same time Home Depot did theirs, Milo started putting their stuff out, and then by the time the pumpkin stack was even available, I've already bought like half of the everything I wanted, and I had like just enough money to get the pumpkin stack because I didn't have a job last year. I got one now, so now I'm buying half what I'm getting now. But
you're gonna make it rain in Lowe's.
oh yeah, Lowe's is about to be like because I've gotten to where in the last couple of years the only thing I buy is inflatables from Lowe's, which is why this year I'm hoping stores like at home and Home Depot impress me because I'm really wanting to branch out a little bit from Lowe's because honestly I don't know what it is about Lowe's, but I'm just like the Lowe's quality is it's not even that good anymore. I'm just like stuck on
Absolutely.
Lowe's inflatables.
That's another thing. I mean, I don't want to keep going on Lowe's and on all these other stores kind of mixing together when we were supposed to get,
Yeah, I know.
one by one.
We are
But
having a wonderful time
yeah,
keeping on track.
yeah, absolutely. But I mean, so I have some more stuff to say about Lowe's when we get to it, but that should be the next one right after we're done.
Yeah, luckily that's
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so just overall, with just a wrap up of the 2022 Halloween season at home, if you I mean, unfortunately, they only had two really good ones, and if you took out one of them, just the pumpkin stack, I'm not sure the dragon would have been able to support it. But that's
Oh yeah, the dragon was definitely not. There was maybe like 5, 6 people who are decently known in the community who said they liked it, and but like that was about it. I don't think the dragon would have been able to support
and
the whole
that,
lineup.
that's really unfortunate because that dragon, I mean, think about it. For at home, it's at home. All these the mega cheap remake store got
Literally
a dragon packed with technology with a tornado fan for an actually decent price. 150.
Yeah,
That's less than That's less than what Lowe's would have sold it for. Absolutely,
That's
Lowe's
what
would
I
have
was
done.
literally about to say because
Yeah.
the last Dragon inflatable Lowe's did was a inflatable that is similar in shape to that inflatable. It's the like pink metallic
Oh,
looking dragon.
it's
I
like the
have it.
exact same size, but it has
Yeah,
less
it's
technology.
literally almost like not. It's not the same inflatable. No, it's definitely
Absolutely.
not. But it's like the same size, shape, and everything. And I have it, but I was like completely amazed when I bought the At Home Dragon because I liked it so much more than I ever could imagine I was going to. Like I would put the At Home Dragon, and y'all know how crazy I'm about my dragons. I would honestly put my At Home Dragon up there with my like favorite dragon, which is the Crystal Ball Dragon from Lowe's.
2017.
I would definitely say that they're like same level, but 100%, it's one of my favorite dragons I have. 100%.
I mean, the initial plan for me, I think in 2020 was that I was going to get the dragon from Lowe's, but I think I opted for the one of the Menards ones. Actually, I think I got the Fogging Serpent instead. But now I don't really care because I got the At Home one last year for an even better price than the Lowe's one
Oh
was.
yeah, the pricing. What was it like? 149, 159.
Yeah, 149.99.
Yeah, that was absolutely.
Tornado fan animated.
Better.
Absolutely.
Literally, it's. I wouldn't necessarily say maybe that it's like better than the one that Lowe's did, but it's close enough for a cheaper price. It's like it was perfect. It was At Home could have done any better with that. I do hope instead of making that inflatable come back this year, I'm hoping that they maybe do a similar designing, but like maybe different colors or something. Maybe I could have like one dragon on one end of like each ends of like one part of my display or something. If At Home would do that, I genuinely kind of hope they either don't bring it back or they bring it back with new stuff to it or something. Because sometimes I just think if you bring back an inflatable, it just ruins it. Honestly.
Oh, that's a whole other thing I wanted to talk about At Home. Is okay. So I have a picture pulled up right here. Unfortunately, I do not have the screen share. Obviously, not on Instagram, but on YouTube. I unfortunately, I couldn't really put it together this quickly. But I have it pulled up right here. I have the initial picture of the lineup, the whole store setup for At Home last year.
Yeah.
And Unfortunately, instead of picking out three new base fan ones, they just brought back all three, which I'm perfectly fine with the pumpkin and the haunted tree because those, I mean, those are basic and generic enough now.
Yep.
That yeah,
Yep.
but the cat should have been a 2021 exclusive, and nothing will change my mind. Absolutely,
Exactly. That's
like
exactly what I was going to say.
that. I mean,
because they're considering it a colossal, and in my opinion, a colossal should not be regenerated into the next year unless it's a 20-footer.
absolutely. I mean, at this point, now 2021, there was nothing really like standout special that signifies this is At Home Halloween 2021. This is what will go down history because that was the cat, and then they brought it back, and that's not really
yeah,
one.
It's like all of the attention because if you do ask me, I would say the cat definitely carried At Home a little bit in
Absolutely,
2021.
2021. That was
then you bring it back into 2022, and then it's like all the focus that was that cat in 2021 is just gone because it's like you're bringing that inflatable up. So now you're looking back at 2021, you're like, oh, it's nothing now because the cat is now more focused into 2022 than it was 2021.
Absolutely, and that's what scares me about the dragon is that it'd be pretty cool to see them do a new dragon, but if they just bring back the same dragon, there's nothing special about it.
Yeah, there's gonna be nothing special about it unless it's like an inflatable, like it is in your display. Like other than that, like for the actual lineup part, no, it's like nothing special about it at all.
Absolutely. I mean, so overall, with 2022, before we get into our predictions and move on for At Home to the next store, is so overall, last year, aside from the big two, okay, well, the big three in their opinion, but a lot of people thought the archway was a joke. But
Yeah.
but aside from the pumpkin stack and the dragon, for collectors, what else was there? I mean, everything. I'm looking at the picture right here. Everything else was just this cheap garbage. That I mean, thankfully, At Home does kind of throw some curveballs at you, you know, because we weren't expecting this. Certainly in 2021, we were expecting, oh well, it's probably just going to be, you know, the same generic year, not, you know,
That's
three brand new base fans.
exactly what I was gonna say. When
Absolutely.
I was like, this time last year, before we saw anything for At Home, the first things that came to my mind was everything's gonna be from last year, and they're gonna throw in maybe like 3 or 4 new cheap fans or something, but it's gonna be the same base fans, nothing new. I was just like not really excited until I saw half of what was gonna be out there. I was like, wow, okay, that's shocking.
What's really unfortunate is that, or what's really funny actually, is that you see all these commercials or the ads on YouTube for At Home, and they're like, oh, all these shoppers, these fake shoppers going around saying, oh, the best prices, these have the best prices. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And like, oh, yeah, the only reason why you can call it At Home exclusives is because you just want to hold on to. And anyway, they put themselves on this imaginary pedestal. It's like you, okay, it's like you have a race and you lost the race, but you still walk around after saying you won the race, and it just kind of ruins the whole fucking thing because you don't really. There's nothing. There's nothing really to show for it. You didn't win. You're just walking around saying that you're the best store, and you have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and honestly, with the At Home exclusive thing, I don't even really know why they would consider that, because Home Depot has proven that the 20-foot snowman and 20-foot Santa is not an At Home exclusive
Absolutely.
anymore.
And they
So
still have
I'm just like, what is it going to be next? Is going to be they're going to be a 20-footer at Lowe's this year now?
I definitely hope that we see another curveball thrown at us, you know, where it's exciting again, where they
I hope so.
upscale again.
Hope so.
But again, it all comes down to business. How well did it do last year? That's the big question. How well did Halloween do for them to want to invest more money or reinvest the same money into bigger designs when they're not sure if it's going to sell or not? I mean, I know the pumpkin stack sold definitely, but
oh yeah, I would say probably the top ones around here that sold out first was the pumpkin stack, the dragon. For some reason, the 12-foot tree does really good around here every year. See, that one was one of the first ones that sold out as well, which was unfortunate for me because that was one of the only ones that I didn't get from the last 2 years now. So I was trying to get my hands on that one, but I couldn't because it sold out so fast. And then the 12-foot pumpkin always sells good. The cat didn't sell too well this year.
That's the whole other thing.
21.
You bring it back again and it doesn't sell. It's now an embarrassment. Not only is it not special, it's an embarrassment because it doesn't sell well.
I agree.
Absolutely. But okay, so do you have any thoughts recapping 2022 Halloween at Home?
I would say it was shocking to an extent. That's about it.
Definitely. I mean, like day one, of course, that morning when we found out, you know, May 31st, we found out the whole lineup. That was so.
Was in my math class doing my final exam, and I remember looking at my phone, and I had DMs after DMs telling me to look at the lineup for At Home, and I was like, what? Oh, wow, it was shocking. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for At Home last year.
It was still exciting to see them go in a new direction. I mean, bro, remember initially when we all thought that spider was Jemmy and it was a big one, and initially we thought it was 12-foot. Absolutely.
We thought half of we were like, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? And then it was like,
you want to talk about an embarrassment? That's the real embarrassment.
I remember I was sitting on call with all my friends looking at the lineup, and we were like, what? Why?
I remember thinking it was pretty odd for Jemmy, but then we found out it was airflow, so I was like, oh, okay. But still, I mean, we thought it was 12-foot. Then we got into stores, it turned out to be 9-foot. It was so tiny. It was genuinely a joke for $100.
Yeah, I know. It was like, I remember seeing it because it was one of the first ones that my At Home got as well, and it was like, I was like, why is it so small? I thought this was supposed to be like big.
Absolutely. I was
so confused.
I mean, initially we also thought that the Infinity Mirror Reaper. Well, first we thought it was Jemmy, but then we also thought it was 12-foot because here's something you can also tell about At Home and how to prove the point of the stores meet with, you know, they have the manufacturers come up to a certain level that they want to be at, and and the proof to that is the original website listings for the inflatables with sound on the archway, with sound that lets you know that was originally supposed to be a light.
them as well.
That was going to be a light show, and that's why and that makes sense now that's why the price was $250.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're gonna take it,
all that,
if you're gonna take out what makes it expensive but keep the same price, who do you think you're kidding? Who do you think?
Yeah, I mean, and then we're the couple of idiots who bought it.
Absolutely,
I returned it though. I returned it. I was like, no thanks, not for $250. You can have this back.
And then it was one of the few that they actually lowered the price later on down to 200 rather than 250, and that lets you know. And that was still way overpriced.
Shocking. Honestly, I have a feeling we're gonna see that one again this year.
The archway. I mean, if they change the price back down to the regular price,
if they change the price, I would buy it again. But if it's gonna be $250 again and it doesn't have light show sound and all this, or maybe we could see it again and it does have it.
Absolutely, that would be amazing. If they finally get off of their big, Scrooge McDuck money pile and start talking about and actually start listening to their audience, they know that you don't need to and that's something I want to get to with Lowe's is that about that 18-foot vampire jack is that unfortunately instead of them looking at they don't like specifically this inflatable. No, they're gonna look at that and say, oh, it's they don't like colossals. Too bad they're not getting any more, and they're gonna take it all away.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, and with that, I know we're not on the topic of Lowe's yet, but I do want to say this before I forget. The last colossal we got was the 2018 Reaper that I have, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think we got a new colossal Mickey that year for Christmas.
We did. Oh wait, yeah, we did.
Yeah, the Caroler, I think, or Toy Soldier was 17, I think, and then Caroler was 18.
Toy Soldier was 17, Caroler was 18, and then 19 we had no Colossals. But if you look back at both of those Colossals for that year, both of them sold very well. So it was very confusing to why we didn't get anything for the years of 2020 or 2019. Just like a regular. For Halloween, because we didn't get any licensed Colossals for Lowe's until 2021. So I was like, why did the Colossals go away? Because I don't remember seeing any negative thoughts about either of those
Colossals. Someone's thought is that they switched store buyers and their whole, and that's why, again, you look at Lowe's Halloween 2018 versus current, 2022. And 2018
that makes so much more sense because you can look back at 2018, 2017 Lowe's and then look at the last 2 years for Lowe's. I would take 2018 and 17 over any year at this point that we've gotten in the last maybe since 19. No, not 19. 20 to 2022, I would take actually. Never mind. I'm just gonna say the last 2 years because 2020 was also really good for Christmas, not Halloween, but. Anyway, back at home. So we can get to
yeah, finally. But okay, so overall, last year, just running down this. So the big three from 2021 all returned. That was odd. And then the big three from the new big three. For them, again, you got to think it's new for them, even though we've seen it in the past. Yeah, it's new for them. They're not really, big. They don't know that it was sold somewhere else. That's why for them, they don't know that was sold at BJ's in 2016. For them, that's brand new. Same with the Jack and Oogie scene. They didn't know that was sold at Lowe's in 20. You got to give them some credit.
They've ruined that inflatable so much now. It's been sold pretty much at every retailer there has their. Yeah, I was just beyond disappointed to see that inflatable is going to be re-brought. I was just like, really? If you would have kept it in 2018 and left it in 2018, wonderful. But no, let's just bring it back every year and sell it at 15 different places. Actually, no, I can't say that because that would be more like Jimmy doing it. I guess the retailers, because I guess it did sell really well in 2018 at Lowe's. I guess other retailers saw that and they're like, okay, well, so let's bring it back because it's apparently gonna do just as good as it did in 2018.
I don't really know what to say about that because again, you just hit it pretty much. But again, they don't. That's what was so for them. They didn't know in 2020 that the pumpkin archway or that one. they didn't know that those were sold somewhere else. They thought that those were brand new. But
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
honestly, I thought the pumpkin arch toy was brand new too. I didn't even know that wasn't a inflatable that was sold in like 2016. I was like, wait, what?
but I mean, okay, so kind of ending off at home here, our predictions. So, firstly, what do we think will be, because you got to keep in mind half of their lineup is typically nearly half their lineup is always remakes, and their limit
Yep,
is always 30. That's a pattern. Note that down. That they always, pretty much for Halloween, they always get a number of 30. They pick out 30.
yep,
But out of that, so let's say 10, because it's not always nearly exactly 15, exactly
yep.
half. But so let's say 10. Which 10 remakes do you think will be coming back this year?
Well, with the word remake, I want to I'm just gonna say this because I think I don't necessarily think it's two, but I have a feeling we're gonna end up getting. We're obviously gonna probably get another tree. We're probably gonna get another 12 for pumpkin. I'm assuming we're probably either gonna get the exact same inflatable, or they're going to do like minor changes to the inflatable. Like maybe instead of the face on the tree being red, it's gonna be like green or something.
Absolutely. That's something I've been saying since the day we found out in 2021 that they were changing the face to red. Absolutely.
And then I feel like the pumpkin, the 12 foot pumpkin, I feel like we're probably going to get like maybe like a different, maybe scarier ish design of the face or something like that.
That's a whole other thing I want to talk about is at home again. People always give them crap about, in other stores too, like Walmart, about like not getting these good scary designs in for us. But you have to think about the whole audience that they're trying to
Yep.
yeah.
That's what I've been thinking the last maybe 2 or 3 years now. We haven't really gotten any scary inflatables. Like I would say, the couple scary inflatables we've gotten in the last maybe 2 to 3 years have been the like inflatables that revolve around like the female ghost. Those inflatables, they are freaky. I have three of them, and they are. I have to put them in certain parts of the display because people in the neighborhood won't go near them because they're freaky apparently. But that's just me taking stuff from other people who are not in the community, like the clowns, the things like that. That's the things that freak people out. And you notice that we don't get many of those. Like the clown from last year, I bought it. I had to move it because people didn't like it where it was at. So I had to move it to the back. No, it wasn't necessarily the back. I had to move it to the front of like one end of my display so nobody could really see it. But like things like that, we don't get much of anymore.
I mean, that was something I was thinking about when I did the poll of the 20 footers. Is Reaper one of those, the Pumpkin Reaper, Grimace Reaper? Let's use Grimace Reaper as an example. They have to put those on display in the store, and people, I mean, just the general public, are they really? Not even people who are going to go in there to buy inflatables. If they're just going in there with their kids in general, they're going to be scared of this giant 20-foot Reaper.
Grimace Reaper.
Absolutely.
You want to take this on?
Absolutely. But that's something
that makes a lot. That makes so much more sense now because
absolutely.
Those couple of inflatables that Walmart do put out for Halloween around here are always the little tiny, like kiddish looking ones. That makes sense now. That makes so much more sense now that you said that.
But I mean, now, so I mean, using that as an example, they're gonna have to keep in mind, they're gonna have to probably not do the display, set up a display model if they do a 20-foot Reaper. But that's I mean, that's a long shot for this year. But for me personally, for answering the first question, what remakes do I think will be coming back? Instantly, I could just power through these real quick. Obviously, the pumpkin stack. That is easy.
Yeah, that's going to be back.
I mean, could you imagine if they just, not only if they didn't get a new 20 footer, but they didn't even get the same 20 footer back in, and they're just like, okay, that's a little tease, we're done. But
yeah, I'd be shocked if we got a new 20 footer and they didn't bring back the pumpkin stack.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. I mean, I'd see the pumpkin stack because the Nutcracker only did 2 years.
Oh wait, yeah, I was about to say that because the Nutcracker did really well the first year, and then the second year did very well again. And then I guess.
But I mean, that was a whole. That wasn't about a sales thing. That was just a budget thing. They wanted to go with all these other designs, and they had to pick one to cut. And
oh really?
Yeah,
I thought. Oh,
absolutely. It was not. It wasn't really it wasn't really a sales, and like it did poorly, and they thought, oh, it's done. We can't really bring it back again. But it was purely like, I mean, they got three incredible. Yeah, they got three really good 20 footers. I'd say, they didn't screw up, absolutely. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but I mean, think about how much investment that took out of their lineup for the Snowman family. So
Holy cow.
they had to pick one to cut. But anyway, so back to Halloween. So easy, I just said pumpkin stack. Easy, that one will be coming back. It's a pretty. I will give you a 99.9% chance that will be coming back. Then
we'll probably be getting a 12-foot pumpkin tree.
I'd be perfectly okay with them getting redesigns of those because I'm not asking too much here.
Yeah.
But and then I would not be surprised at all if the dragon is renewed for a second season.
That or the 12-foot cat. One of them.
Here's another thing I was talking about is they have a giant cat, but if they did a 20-foot cat like the BZB Goods one, that's kind of like or in the style of the 20-foot reindeer, then they wouldn't need the 12-foot cat anymore.
Well, actually, yeah. Now that you said that, because I mean, yeah, why would I guess they would just be like, oh, well, yeah, you're right. I guess if they do that, then why would they need a 12-foot cat? So if we don't get a 20-foot cat, we will probably be getting a 12-foot cat again.
Absolutely. So I mean, if that depends, if maybe the cat will be back for a third season if they're just not right at that point ready to do a 20-foot cat. But I mean, baby steps. I'm not asking for much here. I'm just asking for one new 20-footer. That's all I'm asking for.
Literally all I'm asking for, because that's about all I'm ever interested in. Can't talk. And at home, to be honest.
Other than that, I mean, those are the two. I mean, those are the only ones people really care about, other than the Nightmare Before Christmas ones. What are the Nightmare Before? I mean, I can see out of the 4 characters because they did a new Sally and a new Oogie last year. I'd see absolutely the Jack on a Pumpkin being retired and Zero on a Pumpkin being retired, and they get 2 new versions of those 2 characters. But other than that, everything else is just cheap fan garbage that I really don't care if they bring back or not.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I agree. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's about. I mean, I've noticed that they're now doing with the cheap fans for Nightmare Before Christmas. They're giving them that like babyish look. I have a feeling we'll probably get those at home. Like for an example, the Sallies, the little like 3.5-foot Sallies.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna get that, but with like. Well, actually, you're right, because Oogie's kind of just the same design. You can't really.
How could you do a baby design of an Oogie Boogie? He doesn't have any features.
I feel like Jimmy would find it. They'd probably find a way somehow, but they screw it up so hard. And honestly, there's not really much you can do with Zero. If they ever switched to Zero design, I'd be so done, because Zero is literally my favorite character of the Nightmare Before Christmas. So immediately, if there's an inflatable of Zero or an inflatable that incorporates Zero, I'm all over it. So they better stay where they are with Zero. They better not switch that up.
I mean,
but
anyway. I would appreciate them doing a different design Zero than him back for a 4th season. That just, I mean.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like the pumpkin with the Zero, that's like one of my. I don't like that one. I don't like it at all. I'm about ready for them to do some sort of different Zero, like maybe a 3.5-foot Zero, like maybe like a. Well, never mind, because the mountains are also white. But I was gonna say maybe like a little Zero sitting on top of a.
I mean, I would.
Oh my gosh!
What just happened there?
It's because my dad keeps on calling me, so I probably need to like leave the live for 2 seconds to call him, so he'll quit calling me. Because that's the 3rd time he's done it in a row. So let me leave the live for like 2 seconds and call him to ensure him that I'm still breathing, because I don't know what he's wanting.
Okay.
I'll be like right back. I'll join back as soon as I'm back.
Okay. All right. So basically, just my thoughts in the meantime on at home. Thing, with the what remakes do I think will be coming back, and which primary new designs do I think we'll be seeing again? And right now, I think it's a good chance we'll be seeing, um, aside from the ones we've already talked about, I'd like to see different bass fans. As other than the airflows ones, why are they going with airflows all of a sudden now? They're incorporating, kind of mixing them together. If they could exchange the Spider and the Infinity Mirror Reaper for some Gemmy ones, I'd be, I'd definitely be happy with that. Just smaller cheap fan, smaller bass fan ones like the Oogie and Jack scene that they keep bringing back all these remakes. But we have Blake again. All right, we have Blake again.
We're back.
All right. So, what I was just saying while you were gone is, basically, if they would exchange the two airflows ones for some more decent Gemmy bass fans, smaller ones, that'd be pretty cool. Rather than them kind of mixing.
They could have probably done that. I guarantee they probably went with airflows just to, because remind me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the first time that they've done airflows at home?
I'm not sure. Back in the day when they were called Garden Ridge, they went with they were purely knockoff, but then they kind of morphed into purely Gemmy after a while, and now we're back to now we're and then we were for a while we were purely Gemmy, and now they're kind of mixing together airflows, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think I think airflow should stay in their lane, to be honest. Blake's audio doesn't seem to be working again. But basically, that's my end thoughts on at home's kind of. It'd be pretty cool. Again, the only thing people really care about with the with out home's Halloween stuff is the 20-footers now, and I'd love to see a 20-foot ghost, 20-foot haunted tree, something like that, and Blake Blake will be back here in a sec. Okay. All right. So we're getting Blake back in. All right. So end thoughts on all right, Blake's coming back on. All right. So at home. End thoughts. Okay, we have Blake back.
I don't know what happened. It like randomly kicked me out of like the live. I was like, what?
Typically happens when you get like a notification or something.
Oh, okay. Well, that I was so confused because I was like, why? What is happening?
Anyway, just all right. Finally, we need to wrap up. Just wrap up at home here and move on to Lowe's. So basically, end thoughts. I would love to see some either a new 20-foot ghost or a 20-foot will suffer like they will suffer like crazy. I mean, but definitely okay. So that would be pretty cool to see from At Home. But now moving on to Lowe's.
Oh yes, my favorite.
All right. So, do you have any thoughts on any end thoughts here on At Home?
I'm just hoping we see something new, and it's not half the lineup just being reused from last year.
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
All I'm asking for, to be honest, is just one 20-footer, one new 20-footer, and that's it. But anyway, moving on. Next door, Lowe's. So let me pull up real quick my documents on what we already know about. What we already know about Lowe's lineup.
Yep. Actually, I should probably do the same. Let's see if I can find anything.
Matt did a great video. I think he's the news source, kind of that's that.
Wait, Matt did?
Matt.
Wait, he really did? Hold on, I need to look.
Matt's did the.
I gotta find.
Here we are. All right, so I've got it pulled up here. All right, we'll have Blake back here in a second. There's just some Instagram problems. But all right, so all right, we are going to have this stream back up here, but in the meantime, I have Lowe's pulled up here with what we already know about Lowe's Halloween lineup, and we are getting Blake back here. Tons of problems here with the Instagram stream. That's seems like every time we always do this, there's always problems. Anyway, back to Lowe's. We're back starting on Lowe's now. So so basically, okay, yes, there we go. Finally, we have Blake back. So so what we already know is I have the pictures that we already have from the Lowe's lineup that we already. Okay, so we're officially moved on to Lowe's. Is so what we have right now. So I already have. Do you have the picture pulled up? I know you were. I'm trying for that. I have it already pulled up here. It is basically okay. So what we already know about what is coming to Lowe's lineup is currently we know of three base fans and one licensed cheap fan. What it looks like is we have two. What we were just talking about at the beginning of the stream is the two Nightmare Before Christmas base fans. We got the 9-foot Jack with his face. He's pulling apart his cheeks.
That photo was animal.
And then we got the Oogie Boogie and the Cauldron. Something instantly I wanted to talk about with those two is I would not be expecting that they would be cheaper they're not going to be. I mean, instantly, I could tell you that that Jack is going to be 170, and then that Oogie in the Cauldron is probably easily going to be one. I was thinking 140, but I mean, at this point, who knows with inflation, it could
Yeah.
go higher and higher. But as it turns out, okay, so here's something very interesting. The one that's right next to this, and this is very interesting for a lot of people, is what's right next to that is apparently a Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, what? Oh, I got so excited.
Yep. Yep. What's right next to those two on the shelf is a Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. People are thinking it's going to be a cheap fan, like kind of like the Mickey Pumpkin or something.
Wait, I mean, honestly, I wish there was a way we could check like the status of what licenses Jimmy has, because that would confirm that a lot better. But like, honestly, I wouldn't.
There's a high quality picture. I'm sure I can send you later on.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
because the one I'm looking at is so blurry I can't see anything. But
yeah, one sec. We'll go ahead and send it to you.
Okay. Wait, how am I supposed to look at it? Because I'm on live.
No, I'm sending it on Instagram.
Oh.
So yes, it does look like exactly. We have there's no denying it. It's a Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, but
now the main thing that I got right now is this like Mickey Mouse candy corn thing.
Oh yeah, they're redesigning the Mickey Pumpkin into a candy corn. That's
I actually would probably like it if it didn't have ears. Like the ears are not. I don't know. Like why would?
But I mean, what's the point in doing a Mickey Pumpkin if it doesn't have his signature ears?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, what's the point of even making this playable?
It also does look like they're exchanging the horror movie characters last year for the Disney villains.
Oh God,
that's really unfortunate. They're taking out the Michael Myers and the Chucky and replacing them with, and then the Pennywise was an online exclusive last year, and they're replacing them with Ursula, Cruella de Vil, and Maleficent.
Maleficent. What's the ones beside that? Mickey and Minnie.
But then the ones on the other side are actually Nightmare Before Christmas ones.
Yep, those are the like I don't know what in the world.
One's purple and one has a big head. I'm sure one is a Jack, but I'm not sure what the other one is.
One's a Sally. But
is that a Sally though? It actually looks like the girl Stitch from Lilo and Stitch 2.
Wait, where at?
Right, one of those black box ones. Absolutely.
Right beside Ursula?
Yeah, the pink one.
I think it's Sally because the only thing I can see, because I still haven't looked at the picture, because I don't think I can like exit the live and look at the picture, because I'm like in the live, whatever. But anyway, from what I'm looking at, it looks. Well, actually, no way. I think it is Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's what's so confusing about it, is that yes, it does have that same box art. It's just it does not look like Nightmare Before Christmas characters.
Hold on, what is this? Let me just confused. Sally, Nightmare Before Christmas. Isn't she? She's blue with red hair, but like she's like a light blue color. She's not dark blue. Wait, what? Oh gosh, this is so confusing. And then the Inflatables right under that is Minion. I see Minion. Oh, Stitch in a pumpkin. I'll be buying that.
Yeah, that new that's the one that I think leaked a couple months ago. That was the Yard Inflatables one.
I like that. I do like that one. And then I can't tell what's beside that, but it kind of looks like an Air Adorable. But why would the Air Adorable box be that big?
Yeah, that's what's that's another confusing thing. I like that they're going with a new box art this year.
Oh, you are right. I did not notice that.
Yeah, the purple. I mean, I'm excited to see, definitely, if they're going back with the Haunted Living. I don't know. What I'm looking at definitely right here has that purple header.
Yep, I see that as well. I'm sorry, but the peak image, like the peak blurry image from what I can see, that's like 2 boxes away from what we think is Sally. It looks like a flamingo. It's either a flamingo or a unicorn or it almost looks like a pink turkey. I don't what. Lowe's is scaring me.
Exactly.
So much.
Yeah.
Right now.
All these cheap fans. I hope that the Toothless is a base fan, but
I honestly hope it's a base fan. Actually, it could be a base fan because from what I can see right now, it does look like it has a smaller box. But base fan, I'd buy it because it's a dragon. You know, I love my dragons. Maybe that's gonna be like the dragon for this year. I don't know. I've been told, but like you've told me, it's a How to Train Your Dragon person.
absolutely here. Yeah, I don't think you can. I'm not think you can. Do you have Instagram logged in on any other device?
No, I have no clue what my password would be either.
Oh, okay. But I mean, okay, you just check it out after the stream.
Yeah,
But
I'll just look at it after a while.
you can't really see anything. It's just you can tell that it's a How to Train Your Dragon box, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But I've been told, this is what's so funny, is I've been told it's a haunted mansion inflatable. I've been told it's a dragon.
Yeah, you'll see. Once you see the picture I sent you, it's absolutely a How to Train Your Dragon.
I'll definitely be looking after the live. Yeah, I'm like curious now.
Okay.
I see Snoopy.
Yes, Snoopy, a minion. There's a minion. There's everyone. The typical, you know.
The inflatable in the orange Disney box, right above the Mickey candy corn thingy, it literally looks like a white Mickey head with like Pluto on its head. Like, oh my gosh! I don't know what to say. Hold on, what in the world was that? Oh, I'm gonna go on mute for 2 seconds because I just heard like a loud bang outside of my door, and I need to make sure somebody's like trying to break in. I'll be back in like a sec.
All right, cool. Okay, so basically, what I'm talking about right here is the pictures that we have of Lowe's Halloween lineup this year. And what I'm seeing instantly, right? I mean, some of the ones we were just talking about, you know, the 2 Nightmare Before Christmas base fans, a Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, the Stitch and a Pumpkin, that's an easy one. There's a Minion, a Scooby Doo, the 3 Disney villains, and the Mickey and Minnie, and 2 what looks like Nightmare Before Christmas cheap fans. And they're changing the box to purple headers and stuff rather than the generic airborne inflatable box. But definitely, this is interesting for a couple different levels. This is I don't know what to really make of it, because this is a whole new direction for Lowe's, where I mean, it's still just pure cheap fan stuff, but that's just what we see right now. There's a whole other shelf filled with stuff that we don't know about right now, but we will see how that ends up working out. Blake will be back here in a short minute, but there's no real predictions to be made here on Lowe's. It's just we already know, you know, half of their lineup, and this is definitely gonna be it's gonna be interesting once they're actually in stores and we know the whole lineup. You know what there are by their titles, you know, that show up in the computer database. But definitely, it's interesting to say the least. From what we already know from these a bunch of cheap fans, we're looking at the 3 Disney, a bunch of cutesy kid friendly cheap fans. That's what hurts about it. Is
okay,
that
I'm back.
yeah, I was just talking about, you know, how in
the
the
cutesy cheap fans. I
yeah,
heard that.
the cutesy
I
cheap
was like,
fans.
oh god.
All these are just cutesy cheap fan stuff.
Yeah,
There's not
I wish
yeah.
Lowe's would step away from that. 'Cause, I just don't like the cutesy stuff from Lowe's. It doesn't fit what Lowe's used to be.
Absolutely. Especially looking back at 2018. It's
Yep.
such a drastic downfall. But anyway,
Yep.
there's not really much to speculate about here. All I
Yeah,
can
I mean, we see what the licensed cutesy couple inflatables that are going to be at Lowe's. That's all we see. I mean, that's like the rest of the lineup is literally what's being covered by this like animatronic. Like, it's so disappointing.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it leaves you wondering.
Yeah, that is true.
But so the one thing I did want to bring up about Lowe's is the Vampire Jack from last year, and and I heard an interesting thing to consider here is that maybe this year, because there's only a couple Nightmare Before Christmas ones, maybe the direction that they're going in is a
regular Colossal, like generic.
I don't think generic. I'm thinking maybe they're going with a new license.
Oh,
rather than a Nightmare Before Christmas one. People were suggesting maybe Ghostbusters. People were suggesting just other ones in general. It's an endless amount of possibilities. But
yeah, that is true.
maybe we have never seen, to my knowledge, a Halloween Colossal Mickey.
Well, honestly, you're onto something because if you really look at the licensed base fans, right now we only have 3 that are confirmed going to be base fans because we don't know if How to Train Your Dragon is actually a base fan. So where are the rest of the licensed base fan inflatables at? So you might be onto something with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Or they could be doing a new license, like they instead of doing the Nightmare Before Christmas where they had their whole license dedicated to it, they might be doing something else with that, like maybe like you said, Ghostbusters or something. I doubt it.
I think that'll be more of a 2024 thing for the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters, but
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Probably. But I mean, the display, they only had the 2.
Exactly. Like, where are all the licensed base fans? Because usually we get a pretty good amount.
Absolutely. But I mean, typically it's 2 or 3 regular licensed base fans, which is what we're seeing right here. The Mickey Pumpkin, and then the 2 Nightmare Before Christmas ones. Maybe the 2 Nightmare Before Christmas ones are it, and they're going with a complete other license. That's my theory, and that's all. That's all we can really say about those. There's not really much.
Yeah, there's not really much, and that really disappoints me though, because I'm a regular Lowe's buyer when it comes to inflatables. I'm like really hoping to see a little bit more as we get further into this month, so I'll have an idea of what I need to get and what I need to like buy now before Halloween. Everything new comes out, but
I mean, last year we found everything out on May 25th, so we're getting there. We're getting closer.
Yeah, we're getting close.
But I can't really talk anymore about Lowe's because I mean it speaks for itself. We already know half of their lineup.
Yep.
But anyway.
All right, well, let's see. Home Depot's next.
Home Depot. Sure. Let's go ahead. Now,
have you really seen anything from Home Depot this year other than like animatronics?
That's what's interesting is that they did that same thing what Lowe's did with the pre setup. They set up their whole Halloween setup and then have some people come by and check it out. The Home Depot did the same thing, and all we know about is this big bat. That's it. That's the only one. This big, but we don't know any of the inflatables, which is weird because we found out literally everything for Halloween and Christmas in March of last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was really, really early, so that concerns me a little bit. I mean, we've seen a couple inflatables, but they've been Christmas.
With them going,
there's a Santa on a reindeer holding like a mug. There's a Grinch on a Christmas tree.
Absolutely.
That's not all I know for Christmas. But we've not seen anything for Halloween.
I mean, who knows? I mean, last year was a huge downsizing of Halloween for them.
Oh, it really was. There was
absolutely.
There was really nothing for Halloween besides the 2 main inflatables. I circulate that around the 14-foot Oogie and then the 10-foot Jack that moves his arms.
Those are the only 2 that people really cared about.
Yeah, everything else was like kind of disappointing. Like
absolutely.
The big head turning cat, that was disappointing. I didn't really like that at all.
I don't really care about the online exclusives. You can already tell that those don't really do nearly as well as the in-store ones.
Yeah, that is true.
But
yeah, there was Home Depot was a bit disappointing with their generic lineup, their licensed lineup. As far as Nightmare Before Christmas, I was happy with that.
The one pattern I can sense definitely with Home Depot is I'd expect a new Oogie, not necessarily a new colossal Oogie, but think about it.
I agree.
Every year is a new Oogie, so maybe I can't. Again, same with when I brought up with At Home. I can't see them just doing one colossal Oogie and then stepping back and doing a smaller one. It just doesn't really make sense to do a 14-footer and then go back down to regular sized base fans.
Well, I guess it necessarily would depend on what else is going to be on the inflatable, because they kind of did that with 2020. They did 10.5-foot Oogie, and then 2021 they did the 9-foot Oogie with lock, shock, and barrel. So I guess it would just necessarily depend on what else would be with Oogie, unless they decide to just redesign Oogie and make him either taller or the same height. But I agree with what you're saying. If it's just going to be a generic, regular Oogie Boogie, no, they do not need to make it less than 14 feet. Because I feel like 14 foot is now the minimum for them.
Absolutely. But I mean, for me, that's the only thing I can really speculate about. Because I think about last year, everything was a curveball. Nothing. I mean, you wouldn't have expected any of the other stuff, anything in general, just to be sold
nothing.
there.
I mean, everything was just like, I was like, is this really like the lineup? I remember thinking to myself when I saw the entire lineup for Home Depot, I was like, is that it? Is there more? I was like, wait, what? It was really small.
Absolutely.
It was incredibly small, actually, compared to their lineups in the past. I was like, really, really small. That was really small.
I mean, it's you can definitely see the difference where like you can predict nearly At Home's entire lineup, and then you look at stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, and they keep it fresh and interesting every year.
Yep, pretty much. So I'm hoping that this year my main thing that I want from not At Home, sorry. I'm trying my hardest not to be back on At Home. Anyway, my main focus, like what I want from Home Depot this year, is a slightly bigger lineup and a slightly better generic inflatable lineup. Like I have all the hope in Home Depot with their licensed Nightmare Before Christmas inflatables, because I feel like that's what they're going to stay with. Because as of the last recent years, Home Depot, oh my God, can I talk? Nightmare Before Christmas has done the best, I would say, out of most of the other Halloween license. So I feel like they're going to stay with that, and they've been doing good with that license. So I'm hoping that they stay with it and they keep up that expectation. But I'm just really hoping that we see a better generic inflatable lineup for Home Depot.
I mean, yeah, last year was only 2 regular base fans. It was the dog that no one cared about, and then the hooded pumpkin reaper that was 2 feet shorter than the regular.
Oh yeah, the regular, because wasn't it like 10 feet tall? And
yeah, it was 10 feet rather than the 12-footers.
Yeah, that was a disappointment too. And then the dog that they literally just reused, it was like, what was it? The Christmas sheepdog, and literally
they slapped
used it for Halloween and slapped a bat on it or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a disappointment as well. So yeah, hopefully they really, well, honestly, they're probably looking more into what their animatronics look like, because honestly, that's what the reputation.
That is what they're known for now. Absolutely, they're now the animatronic hub.
I'm hoping that they will take a second to like look at their inflatables instead of the animatronics, maybe just for 1 year, because they would be surprised at how much the inflatable community, not just the YouTube community, but like the entire world, has like changed their shift on the inflatables, because inflatables are like crazy more popular than they were a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
100%. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll take a look at that this year, and maybe we'll see a little bit more.
Here's something I always think about is all these stores are selling out completely all of their Halloween stuff. But driving around, I mean, nobody around me
Where
has
do you
any of
see
this stuff.
them?
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely. Where is all this stuff?
Like, where are they going? Because they are definitely not around my neighborhood. I can tell you that. I will maybe find 5 or 6 houses within my entire city that has inflatables, and maybe it's like a 3.5 footer from Walmart. I mean, where are all the inflatables going? Because they are not in these people's yards.
They sold out at least 10 pumpkin stocks last year because that's the shipment, 10. And I'm the only person around here who has one.
I don't know. I'm like, where do they go? Because I don't see them. Do people just buy them and like keep them in their attic or something? And then in like 10 years sell them on Facebook Marketplace? Because where do they go? I have no clue. But I'm so glad you brought that up because I've always wondered that myself. I'm like, where? But anyway, yeah. But
not much
Home
really.
Depot,
yeah.
There's just I'm more focused on their inflatables than I am their animatronics. But their animatronics, like I will admit, I've never been into animatronics, but that thing that I've been seeing a lot, it does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way to spend $400, $500 on it.
That's
probably how much it's going to end up probably being. So
I mean, the werewolf. This is pretty much the werewolf's replacement this year, and the werewolf last year was $400.
Oh, holy cow! I could only imagine
and
people.
Then that giant phantom was $500.
Okay, the phantom though, that thing was cool. I kind of wish I could have bought that. Oh wow, but yeah, that's. I will look into their animatronics if they're at a reasonable price, like a reasonable price.
Yeah.
But honestly, Home Depot is furthest away from the list because Walmart has gained their I've started looking into Walmart a little bit more than I would Home Depot. One, because it's closer than any Home Depots around here, and their lineup is just 10 times bigger. And usually, if the lineup is bigger, you have a bigger chance of finding an inflatable you'll like.
With Christmas, Depot, Christmas at Walmart is always
holy cow! For the last 2 years for Walmart, Christmas has been outstanding.
And then you look at Halloween last year, and it was
what in the world happened?
Last year's so awful.
Two different people doing the Halloween and Christmas because something is happening. Because I'm not sure what was going on with Halloween last year at Walmart, but what was that? What? It was so different. We had a hot air balloon.
That was garbage. That was so garbage.
I literally can't even tell you one inflatable that I don't even think I bought a Halloween inflatable from Walmart last year.
I got the Phantasm Pumpkin Reaper and a couple of licensed cheap fans, but nothing really stood out other than that. Everything else was garbage.
What was at Walmart last year that I maybe would have gotten? I generally don't.
They had the 3 regular base fans and then the 3 licensed base fans. The 3 regulars were the remake of the BJ's Archway that they keep getting in, this generic.
Oh yeah, that was nothing special, so I didn't buy that.
Then
there was the hot air balloon.
Yeah, and then the Phantasm Pumpkin Reaper. And then the 3.
So there was nothing. Yeah. I don't think I bought nothing.
The 3 licensed ones were the Nightmare Before Christmas Archway for $163.
Okay, yeah, that one. That was one that I liked. That is one I'm going to try to get off Yard Inflatables because I have a good spot for that.
Yeah.
So that one was okay.
Well, I mean,
and then there was the Tombstone.
Yeah. That was that's unfortunate because
it was in the mid for me. I was like, they could have made it bigger. They could have done so much more with it, especially when they're including Teddy on it. So I was I didn't buy it.
$100 for a 5.5 footer.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. No, yeah,
absolutely. But I mean,
and then the
Hocus Pocus scene. Yeah,
that one was okay. Well, was that was the Tombstone one, right? That wasn't the call. Yeah, that was the Tombstone. That was last year.
I don't know.
The Cauldron was the first one we got, which would have been 2021.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, all right, yeah, nothing really special last year. I'm hoping this year we get something new that's not anything near what was last year. Because last year was disappointing at its fullest.
Yeah, definitely. Where like it was, but again, like I said previously, to I think it was to you or actually in a group chat, they more than made up for it with Christmas. For me,
Oh,
definitely,
definitely.
absolutely.
Christmas was 10 times better than I could have ever expected. And it's not necessarily because the quality of the inflatables, but the designs were just so much better than they've been in past years. And that's even for the Christmas lineups of Walmart. Like, they've been getting better as the years have been going on. Like, we had a carousel.
Yeah, definitely.
The Ferris wheel. I love the Ferris wheel. I've yet to get it. That is one that I need to get my hands on.
Snow globes.
I don't know about you, but the gingerbread archway from last year from Walmart, that was one
that was one that I definitely considered getting, but I already had, a couple centerpieces. There's not really many places to put an archway.
Exactly, that's why I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
And then the Grinch inflatables were amazing.
Yeah, the whole
we had
Grinch lineup.
Yeah. We had the sleigh, the Grinch TV. We had a fuzzy Grinch. We had micro LEDs. Like, Walmart took 100% took maybe. I mean, you could argue that they maybe took all of Christmas, but not necessarily. But they did really good with Christmas last year. So I'm hoping they take some of their inspiration for Christmas and put it into Halloween for this year, because I don't know where they're going with Halloween, but it's not in the right direction.
Absolutely. This year has kind of given me a little bit of hope with Valentine's Day and the Mardi Gras stuff.
And Easter. Hopefully.
Yeah. Last year, they weren't downsizing or anything. It just so happened to be so crappy.
It's just, like, the inflatable designs themselves were just, like, probably some of the worst I'm not saying that just because they were bad, but I genuinely think they were some of the worst designs that I think I've ever seen.
Hot air balloon, absolutely.
Like, one of the first one that comes to my mind every time I think of Halloween was that stupid cheap fan tree with, like, the scarecrow hanging from it.
Yeah.
I despise that thing. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
What about that cow?
Didn't they have a cheap fan dragon?
Yeah, that was super underwhelming. That was one that was supposed to be a base fan that they took it out last minute.
Yeah, that's just ugh.
But then they got that cow, that 7-foot cow.
Oh, why?
That was just so dumb.
What were they thinking? I genuinely hope if that lineup is anything like it was last year, I'm not even gonna walk in Walmart, not even to look at the inflatables. I'm just not even gonna do it because it's not worth it, to be honest. That is just crazy. But for the most part,
so we've covered all the stores now. Overall, if we're judging off of last year really wasn't anything special. Looking back, we had
not really.
Handful that were.
We had our couple inflatables.
Yeah. We're like still back again. Looking back to 2018, there were so many, countless amazing designs.
Oh Lord, I know.
But now they're very countable. You can very much pick out which ones you like, and
Well, what I'll say is, in the past years, like 2016 to maybe like 2019, the inflatables were pretty much unpredictable. You couldn't really predict what they were going to be. Nowadays, you can pretty much predict what we're going to have every year because all the ideas are the same. Like, every year we have an inflatable tree. We've had a tree for what, since 2018 at Lowe's now?
Oh, yeah, both. At Lowe's, at least Lowe's does redesign their tree every year. They don't just get the same thing.
Yeah, luckily they don't redo it. And I'm glad, even though it was a cheap fan, I'm glad we finally got a different Phantasm Spider, which I have that purple cheap fan from. Oh my gosh. It might be one of my favorite inflatables I have. And I'm not, like, people despise it because it's a cheap fan. But honestly, the inflatable inflates just as tight as a 60 could probably do the inflatable, which is crazy to believe. But, like, the inflatable itself is such a good design, even though it's literally just a different color. But it's crazy how much a color and a projector can do for an inflatable. It's so crazy. And then like for the witch tree from Lowe's last year, it wasn't one of my favorites. I bought it because I literally got it for like $25. But I'm glad we finally got something other than a black tree with like pumpkins and ghosts on it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a good value last year. There was a lot of good value ones last year.
Definitely. The clown was a very nicely priced one. The vulture was an amazing inflatable as well. The only inflatable I would say that was probably overpriced by a little bit was that haunted tree scene with the ghost. Even though it was one of my favorite ones from last year, it was overpriced for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I honestly, you can actually go back and look at my store walkthrough that year of Lowe's, and you can see when I found out the price, I was like shocked. I was like, really, $170 right there on camera.
Yeah, that was expensive. But I would say I would probably have picked that inflatable over for a full price. For a full price inflatable, I would have probably picked that one over any of the $179 inflatable Nightmare Before Christmas inflatables.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still. Actually, I prefer the BJ's version of that one, actually.
I thought so as well until I bought the tree. Because I bought it because I didn't have the BJ's version, and I've wanted the BJ's version ever since it has come ever since it has come out. But when I bought the tree version, I was like very impressed with it. I was like, okay, well, it's something new. It reminds me of my 12-foot tree that looks almost just like it, just a different face design. So I was like very happy with it, and I still am. It's still one of my favorite inflatables from last year. It definitely makes my top probably 10 from last year.
I mean, we forgot. We didn't really talk about BJ's, but BJ's, you definitely.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about BJ's.
You definitely cannot predict BJ's. Absolutely, and that's what's so special about it.
I was not expecting really any of what we got last year. Let's see, we got the tree, we got the pumpkin reaper, and then we got the
light show, obviously.
How could I forget? Actually, I'm so upset because I got every inflatable from BJ's last year except that one.
Except the light show?
I could never get it. My BJ's would never get it in, and by the time I tried to buy it online, it was unavailable. So I was so upset. Actually, I'll tell you after live because there is a place that has it right now available. I'm about to try to buy it. So I don't want to say it a lot because if anybody hears that, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I didn't buy anything." So hopefully that inflatable will be in my display. Because if it's not, I feel like it would be so weird for me to have the other two BJ. Oh my god, the other two BJ's inflatables and not have like the main BJ's inflatable from last year.
Typically, I just pick one from each lineup and I'd buy it because that's something special. You know, you pick out one BJ's one, and like last year was the light show. Year before that, I think it was. I'm not sure what I got last year. Actually,
wait, what was the 2021?
2021. I don't think they got anything new.
Hold on, I'm gonna actually look because I'm actually kind of. I don't know why I can't remember 2021 BJ's. Okay, you can keep talking as I'm searching this up.
Yeah. So I mean, BJ's. I think it's about time that they return back to the carriages and stuff. But
definitely, that would be
definitely.
Okay, Here we go. Okay, so the Oh wait, was 2021 the year that we got the like smaller version of the Ghost Trio with the tombstone?
I think no, but I mean the Ghost. No, we got that in 2020.
Oh, then
because the initial Ghost Trio that's 10.5 feet tall, that was from 2019.
Oh, 2021 was the like it was like the it kind of looks like the 2021 version. It was like the 2021 Halloween tree from Lowe's, but then they made it bigger, and then they put a kaleidoscope in like every pumpkin and every ghost.
Oh yeah, I remember
that was 2021.
Huh, that was yeah. Yeah, now I remember that. I remember Rob
Yeah,
did
I
it.
remember
Rob
that
did
now. I
it.
don't know why I couldn't think of that, but that was BJ's 2021, and then I think we also they put out the Ghost Trio, like the big version, the 10-foot, the original one. I think they resold that one as well.
Huh.
So, but yeah, so nothing really special that year. But then last year they really made up for it because last year, even for Christmas, I know we're not even talking about Christmas here, but the Christmas BJ's inflatables were fantastic.
For last year, yeah, definitely fantastic. What's so unfortunate about it is that they were only sold very exclusively.
I know. I was luckily able to get my hands on all four of them. That's how much I really liked them. And then for Halloween, I'm just missing that trio. I got to get that trio.
I mean, I snagged that trio when it was at 160, and I'm beyond happy with it. That's one of my favorite Halloween ones I own.
I've got to get my hands on that thing. I cannot believe I did not buy that.
But you got the other ones.
Yeah, I bought the other two.
But you didn't prioritize the trio.
I bought the tree first because one of my friends bought the tree and he was like really impressed with it. So I bought it and I liked it. It wasn't like my favorite inflatable of all time, but I liked it. And then I decided I would buy the Reaper as well because someone told me that both arms were animated, and I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll buy it just to see. And I bought it, and then I found out the three pumpkins at the bottom have like flickering lights, like they like a jack.
Oh yeah, that's in the birthday cake one this year. That's in the candle.
We've not even talked about that. I can't even believe. And then of course they did the Lux Bunny again. I wish they would have done something else, but it's fine. I didn't even do an Easter display this year because I wasn't even in town. But like, if I would have done one, I would have been a little bit more upset that they did a remake.
I mean, that might have actually been the only real remake. Like they actually got a new shipment of them in for BJ's.
Yeah.
Like typically when they remake stuff, it's not really a remake. It's just the leftover stuff that they redistribute. But
oh wait, yeah. But that actually makes sense now because sometimes I'll go to my BJ's like during a holiday season, like when they first put out everything, and there'll be an inflatable from a previous year, like the Dragon Globe. When the Dragon Globe came out,
yeah,
like it sold well, but apparently it didn't sell good enough because they had like two of them, I think, and I was like, wait, is the Dragon Globe coming back? Yeah, but it was just two of them that they had left over from the previous year.
I mean, for BJ's, it's definitely, again, like I said, it's very unpredictable, and I'd like to keep it. I'd like to keep it that way. I love that.
I as well. I don't really want to. I mean, we have been getting trees quite often, but I kind of hope we take a break from the trees and onto something a little different, maybe.
I mean, it would be pretty cool to see. Like I said, the carriages, but I mean, go back to like the 2017 designs. That'd be pretty cool because 2017.
I like what you're on to about the carriages because we haven't got a real carriage since the hearse that was at Walmart last year.
Well, I mean, but that wasn't even in stores. That wasn't even in stores. The last in-store ones.
If that was in stores, Walmart may have been a little bit better.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I would accept that one as the big piece. Easy.
Yeah, definitely. But that was just, I cannot believe. How much was that? How much did that inflatable go for?
That was 180.
180.
180.
I was gonna say maybe that's why, but then they also had the carousel. Wasn't that one? Wait, how much was that carousel in 2020?
I think that was also 180.
Yeah, it was either 180 or 200, but I don't think it was 200. I can't remember, but anyway. Yeah, I hope Walmart. I hope all the lineups this year are better than they were last year. That's absolutely just genuinely what I have to say.
Yeah, I'm very.
And then we have. Oh, we didn't even talk about Sam's Club because.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean,
exactly. Like they randomly come out of nowhere with these two Jimmy inflatables, like the dragon from. Oh my gosh! I wish I could have got that thing. It was the one with like the micro LEDs
Yeah.
around the swings.
Oh, that we initially thought was 13 feet tall.
Yeah,
That was yeah.
the one we thought was 13 feet tall that ended up being like 9 feet tall, like all the rest of them.
That would have been amazing as a colossal dragon.
Well, I thought it would be 13 feet tall because of the haunted house. I mean, I was like, we got this huge haunted house. We're about to get this huge dragon to go along with it, but then it was 13. I mean, technically, I guess it is still considered a colossal, but like, really, not really. But it's whatever, to be honest. I do hope we see more from Sam's Club because my BJ's membership has officially run out this year, and the only membership I have left is at Sam's Club. So I'm hoping we get more inflatables like we did last year for Sam's Club. If we don't,
actually for last year to buy the haunted house, I needed to get a Sam's Club membership because I'm a BJ's member already, aside from the inflatables. But
yeah, me too. My family shops at BJ's all the time, so I already have a membership for BJ's all the time. But that's what I had to do as well. I had to literally go and get a membership. Costed me $50 extra to get that membership, but honestly, it was worth it because that haunted house.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
The haunted house,
like the haunted house.
Easily. That is my favorite Halloween inflatable I own.
I think my favorite. I'll say my favorite Halloween inflatable I got from last year. Lord, this would take forever trying to figure out which one's my favorite because there was. I know for a fact that last year was not the best, but I would say the ones that I got were probably my favorites from the certain lineups, and then trying to like. As much as I thought I would, Clown from Lowe's. That was one of them that I was like really hyped for, but then when I bought it, I was like, not really.
I mean, I didn't like that they put Happy Halloween on the mallet. It didn't really need to be there. Like most things.
I didn't like that. I thought the head animation was going to be like the generic head animation.
They catfished all of us. We all they knew what they were doing when they said animated clown with mallet. They knew that we all thought that they were just going to swing his mallet.
I did too. And then they have this. He's still swinging something. He swings his head. That clown's like head like swings back and forth. I was like, what kind of animation is this? I was like so disappointed with the animation. I think that's colorful. I guess that's about it.
I mean, overall, I mean, just the wrap up of this stream of just
make better choices in the inflatables you produce.
Exactly. I'm definitely excited to see what's happening. We talked about what remakes, but also new designs we think we're coming to At Home, and we'd like to see Walmart do a better job, and also just currently what we know about Lowe's and the different theories behind that.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see what Lowe's is going to do. And definitely once we do get some stuff revealed, we'll need to do like a
absolutely. Do another
update live or something.
Yes, absolutely. But definitely, I mean, just so many different thoughts going through every year. I mean, I could just sit back. I remember, I can think back to, it feels just like yesterday that I was, I'm getting all excited over, what we think is coming. And that was like, that was 2021. It was 2022. And now it's 2023. Yep. It's like, where's the time going?
Yeah, I know. And I have noticed as well, this kind of goes what you were saying. I've noticed over the years, we've used to a long time ago for like Lowe's and Walmart, for an example, we wouldn't get their lineups until literally
until they were already on store shelf.
Yeah, like literally like September, we would get their lineup. And now in the last couple of years, I'd say maybe two years, especially last year, when we got our Lowe's lineup all the way in May, I was like, what? I mean, and we already kind of have an idea of what's coming to Lowe's, and that was in what? When did we get that? Like the very beginning of March or the very end of February?
Something like that. Oh, for this year?
Yeah, for this year.
It was February. Right, it was the first week of February. It was February 6th, I think.
Wow, that's just crazy. I mean, I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm giving all the stores a chance, and then Paramount screw it up.
Yes, absolutely. Like right now, my budget, I'm being very generous. I'm going kind of all in on Lowe's and At Home, just in case the 20-footers are there. So like, have have extra money ready to go just in case. But also, you have to have backup plans just in case they suck.
Oh gosh, I know. Backup plans is like freaking Lord. It's just like something I have in the back of my head all the time now because, especially in my displays, when something doesn't work, I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out something else very quickly. Because for me, in particular, bad year, I plan a display where I think the inflatables are like 5 feet wide every year. And then I get to doing them, and I'm like, where is my yard going? Because I'm like, oh god, these inflatables are a whole lot bigger than I thought they were. But anyway, that is something I need to work on this year. But honestly, yeah, just like you said, to wrap it up, lineups, they need improving, and I feel like this year would be the perfect year to do it based off of what we got last year. Because last year they gave us a lot of good options, and we bought what we thought was good. So now they need to build off of that this year. Jimmy and as well as the retailers.
Again, Adam cannot afford to screw this year up. Absolutely not.
I would say they did pretty good with Christmas, but for Halloween, they definitely messed up a lot with that.
So much potential. Don't screw it up. It's right in your face. Come on, just get 120-footer. All you have to do, or your entire reputation is ruined.
Oh, I know. If they screw up I would be so upset if they bring back the 20-foot pumpkin stack and not a new 20-footer.
I mean, I'd actually, if they brought back the pumpkin stack, I might not. I'd be open to buying another one.
Buy from them.
Yes.
Oh my god. That would be so. Oh god, that would make me so mad. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, I
feel like that is something they would end up doing, though.
All I gotta say about that.
Yeah, let's just bring this back and not bring a new one.
All I gotta say about that, bro, if they don't get a new Halloween 20-footer, their supporting lineup better be like we're talking carriages, we're talking dragons. If they don't get a
BJs, they better be like
BJ's level. Absolutely.
Oh wow!
They better be giving them. They better be paying you to take them.
Oh gosh, I would love that because the amount of money I give them and all these other retailers for these inflatables, they need to be paying me to take the inflatables at this point.
Bro.
Oh wow! But anyway, yeah. Well, this was very, very, very nice to recap everything.
Yes, and just
predictions and what we know, and hopefully. It would be nice to see our predictions come true. That would be really nice because that would give us a lot of hope for the following years because maybe we know kind of what's going on. But it would be terrible if all of our predictions are wrong and the lineups are just trash.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like, it would really suck if later we found out that was the only shelf of stuff coming to Lowe's, and that would suck beyond.
Trying to hit the live, but me and my friend a couple years ago, not even a couple years ago, like maybe 2.5 years ago, not even that, a year and a half or so, we made this joke because Lowe's keeps on building their reputation with their licensed inflatables. Eventually, they're going to end up being a all licensed inflatable, like no generic.
That's really the direction we're going in. Look at that shelf. That's just like
they have a whole shelf of licensed inflatables. Like what?
That is. I mean,
oh god, that scares me a little bit.
Still plenty of potential. I mean, that How to Train Your Dragon inflatable is like, I can't wait
I'm glad we're getting new licenses.
Yes, absolutely. But also, it can't be like, you can't mess it up. Like, I'd say half and half with what they did with Shrek last year, where half
Oh
people liked it, half people hated it.
Yeah.
It was
The
just
Shrek was supposed to be like the big thing.
yeah, the big comeback of Shrek.
Yeah, like, and then nobody really talked about it after it was out there on the shelves. Nobody really talked about it. I mean, I bought the inflatable because I bought it for literally $10, but like it's nothing special. So I'm hoping that maybe the How to Train Your Dragon one, once I look at this picture, once we're done with the live, I'm hoping it has potential. Like I hope it looks like I saw on the image I just searched up, because if it does, it has potential. It really does.
Absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much the wrap up of. There's not.
There's not really much more we can really talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, this was definitely fun though, and hopefully we'll start seeing some stuff in the next couple.
Yes, that's why I needed to do this stream so early, because we're gonna find out some stuff, most of the stuff here in like the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I would say we will probably see Halloween. Will we see Halloween before 4th of July or after?
We will see
for
at home. Oh,
yeah.
In stores, they will be in stores just after 4. I mean, like last year, my store was actually the first reported store in the country to have stuff in. Turns out that was nothing really special, and it was just they just so happened to get the first of that crap shipment in. But it was July 6th, and that was the initial date that it was supposed to be.
So hopefully they'll be a little bit better, because obviously they had a whole lot of problems with their shipment. So hopefully maybe we'll see some stuff before 4th of July. But honestly, I don't know, because we probably will see another 4th of July inflatable. It'll probably be that. What is it? The little gnome thingy for 4th of July.
Oh yeah. Did you see the 20-foot Uncle Sam went down $70?
Oh gosh, and if it was Jimmy, I would probably have bought it. But
I mean, yeah, I genuinely, I was thinking about that all the time. Should I invest my money into better Halloween inflatables, or should I? And in the end, it's going to be a hassle once it fries to try to get new replacement parts, because it has 2 cheap fans that are like mega powered. So I mean, how are you gonna?
I would say that's worth it then.
But I mean, if you can obviously modify it to have a base fan, but
yeah, that's true.
But anyway, it's just too much of a for $270. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh wait, 200. How much?
It was 270 initially. Now it's down to 200.
Oh yeah, no thanks.
Absolutely. That's absolutely.
I thought you said 170, but no, 270. I don't even think. Not even the 20-foot colossal not licensed. Sorry, I said licensed. Jimmy licensed inflatables are, well, besides the Snowman family, but that has its reasons for its price. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
That's that's pretty much it. That's all there is to talk about. I mean, every store is covered, and can't wait to see what comes in the future.
I am so excited. I am so excited for this year. But anyway, yeah, I probably need to go eat dinner, because when I heard that knocking, oh wait, we literally streamed from 6 to 8, like you said. That is perfect timing.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
All right, well that's perfect timing. Well, but anyway, when I heard that knocking with my dad back with food, so I probably need to go like eat dinner.
Yeah, that was like 50 minutes ago. That was like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yep.
And we'll have to do this again once.
Absolutely. Yep. Once everything's announced, we'll compare.
Yeah, compare.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I'll let you in now.
Later.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you to everyone who has joined both the streams here on Instagram and YouTube, and thank you to everyone who is watching the stream after it's already up on the channel. Can't wait to see what new stuff is coming this year, and it's definitely going to be pretty interesting that day that Lowe's stuff drops, and it's going to be even more interesting once the at-home stuff drops. So thank you to everyone, and hope you guys have a great night, and I can't wait for Halloween, and we should be finding out some stuff here in the next couple weeks, so stay tuned. Thanks. Thank you guys for watching so much. See you later.